A vote met with cheers from city healthcare workers in Muskogee. The mask mandate, they say, they were desperately waiting on.
No question in Sand Springs, the unanimous vote to pass a mask mandate there, and when you'll see the change.
A first-year college student shot to death at a Tulsa party. The loss being felt some 1,500 miles away as police continue to search for a suspect.
Covering news that matters. Fox 23 News This Morning starts right now.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Lynn.
And I'm Ron Terrell. It is 4:30. More mandates in Green Country with 3 more cities voting to mask up.
We saw healthcare workers camping outside City Hall and a unanimous vote in one city.
We've got live team coverage in both Muskogee and Sand Springs. But first, some rain chances today that will only ramp up. Meteorologist Michael Sager is tracking the potential for storms.
Yeah, we've got that chance in the forecast as we go through the day today. Starting out fairly quiet so far this morning. Later today and into tonight in about 10 minutes.
Breaking news, a silver alert has been issued for a Tulsa woman. Police are looking for 71-year-old Estella Zarate. She was last seen yesterday morning around 10 wearing a light blue sweater and blue jeans near East 56th Street North in Peoria. Police say she has dementia. Call Tulsa Police if you see her. With a record number of people currently in the hospital across Oklahoma with COVID-19 or suspected of having the virus, Sand Springs voted to pass a mask ordinance. Fox 23's Amanda Harry begins our live team coverage near 2nd and Adams with how the vote shook out.
Ron, the vote was unanimous. Amanda Harry, Fox 23 News.
We got a mask mandate. Yeah.
Quite the celebration outside Muskogee City Hall. Healthcare workers cheered as city leaders finally passed a mask mandate there. Fox 23's Scott Martin continues our live team coverage outside St. Francis Hospital, telling us more about last night's vote.
Yeah, Michelle, well, there were at least a dozen of those nurses outside Muskogee City Hall, and most of them all work for this date. They'll vote on that again in January. Coming up in the next half hour, why this is so personal for one of those healthcare workers. We're live in Tulsa this morning covering news that matters. I'm Scott Martin, Fox 23 News.
At 4:35, Broken Arrow city councilors voted 4-1 against a resolution to strongly encourage masks.
Many Broken Arrow residents spoke at Monday's meeting, the majority against a mask mandate. Some made claims about masks not working or that a mandate will hurt businesses, and the pandemic is a, quote, manufactured pandemic. The meeting got especially heated when one lone counselor warned a mask mandate could come from the state if things don't start to trend downward.
The press needs to identify it as not a mandate, because it's not a mandate. But there could be one coming if our numbers don't start back down. So.
No. We diligently listened to everyone who presented. Please give Mr. Parks and anyone else on this council the same respect.
Governor Kevin Stitt has said he will not issue a mask mandate. He's encouraging personal responsibility, asking you to wear them, especially when social distancing is not an option. There are more than 1,100 active cases in Broken Arrow this morning and 53 deaths there since March. Now to the latest COVID-19 numbers. The State Health Department reported more than 3,500 new cases Monday, along with 15 new deaths. 6 of those deaths are here in Green Country. Active cases are at another all-time high. This is the 6th day in a row. Right now, there are nearly 34,000 Oklahomans infected with the virus. More than 5,000 are here in Tulsa County.
We're seeing long car lines form outside some COVID testing sites as people get tested before Thanksgiving. We took these photos outside the Tulsa ER and hospital in Tulsa Hills around lunchtime Monday. At one point, about 3 dozen cars were in line, and the wait time averaged about an hour. The staff said many of those getting a test are traveling for Thanksgiving. It is important to note health departments across the country show incubation periods for the virus are up to 14 days. Many people don't test positive until about 10 days after they've been exposed. So a negative test today or tomorrow may not mean that you're in the clear for Thanksgiving.
The Bartlesville City Council unanimously approved a citywide mask mandate inside city buildings. It takes effect just before midnight tonight. Face coverings will be required inside the Bartlesville History Museum, Public Library, City Hall, Bartlesville Police Department, Bartlesville Fire Department, and at Adams Golf Course. We talked with the mayor about the vote.
If our numbers can remain good, our health care will remain strong, and we can get through these next weeks without any enhanced actions.
Councilors also approved $23,000 in CARES Act money be used for a COVID-19 awareness campaign launching in December. The mask mandate in city buildings will run through March 1st.
Oklahoma is the first state to be a part of a pilot program aimed at finding missing tribal members. The new program from the Department of Justice focuses on people who are missing or murdered. It will help set up a new infrastructure where tribal and federal law enforcement will be able to coordinate and communicate with each other and the public when looking for a missing tribal person.
If one of us falls or one of us is missing, then the rest of us ought to gather up, do something about it, find that person, remember how sacred they are. That's true no matter what point in Cherokee history you're talking about.
The program will also make sure when someone disappears in the future, there will be a swift response, so no more families will have to wait for years for answers.
Kim Kardashian West was in Oklahoma yesterday visiting with death row inmate Julius Jones and his family. These are pictures of that meeting. Kardashians expressed support for Jones' innocence. Jones is inside the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAllister for the 1999 murder of Edmond businessman Paul Howell. There are concerns about his trial, which was featured in a popular documentary called The Last Defense. Those state prosecutors stand by the ruling that Jones is guilty. Science experiments from 3 teams of young students from our area are headed to Florida, which is exciting, but where they're going next is even more exciting. They will be launched into space.
We first told you about this back in March when the teams were chosen. The date has continued to be pushed back, but the Tulsa Regional STEM Alliance says it is now set for December 5th. Several experiments will be tested in space, including an adhesive to possibly fix holes in aircraft and a way to provide more food options for astronauts.
To see more details on the experiments, head over to the weather news section of the Fox 23 News app. That is so cool.
That is great. It's going to be interesting to see how all of that comes about and how it's used in the future. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, to see how those experiments pan out. Grab the umbrella. I felt super smart this morning because I've got my rain boots on, even though it's not raining right now. Meteorologist Michael Sager is in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center.
Yeah, we've got that rain chance that it will be increasing in about 10 minutes.
Right now, 4:41 is the time. Several cities have already held their Lights On events, where you can soon see this big tree all lit up. A man killed in a weekend shooting, how his family wants him to be remembered.
Only thing I can say is, have a soul, come forth.
A Tulsa mother is looking for answers as police investigate her son's murder at a house party Friday night. These are pictures of Desmond Clayton his family shared with us. Just heartbreaking. Fox 23's crime and safety reporter Sarah Whaley learned more about Desmond from his family.
A picture with a big announcement. In East Tulsa, covering news that matters. Sarah Whaley, Fox 23 News.
So senseless, just terrible. The Oklahoma Small Business Administration is encouraging you to shop locally this holiday season.
This Saturday is Small Business Saturday in Oklahoma. Small, locally owned businesses make up more than 99% of businesses in our state and employ more than half of Oklahoma's workforce. Owasso, Broken Arrow, and Bixby have already kicked off Shop Local campaigns.
The hope is supporting these businesses through the holidays can keep them open and keep people employed. Such a tough time for small businesses.
It is, definitely. The Broken Arrow Chamber of Commerce announced new jobs are coming to our area.
That's some good news, especially during the pandemic when job insecurity is a big issue for so many of us. The Air Force awarded aerospace company SimStar several training contracts. Along with those contracts comes new positions.
SimStar is headquartered in BA but has facilities in Tulsa as well. We're working to learn just how many jobs this could mean and when they will be posted. A local man is featured among the American Bar Association's 24 success stories.
This is so inspiring. Robert Harmon interned for a lawyer before he landed a full-time job as the director of finance for the Tulsa County DA's office. He's come a long way since he started at Tulsa Community College in the paralegal program.
There were many nights when I just had to lock myself up here and just work, on things. Lots of hours, definitely.
Robert has a goal of one day working for the Secretary of State's office.
Good luck to him.
That's awesome.
Gotta love a success story like that, where you see someone just work their way up. 4:48, you'll want to grab the umbrella even though it's dry now. We are going to get warm as we see that rain, Michael. Kind of a weird situation.
Yeah, a lot of straw. Pretty good. We'll get an updated look at that morning drive in about 10 minutes.
The time now is 4:51.
We really believe here at AHA Tulsa in the power of the arts to heal. And so we're really hoping that Tulsans are able to enjoy positive, uplifting messages.
Using art to make a difference. How you can get a chance to use chalk to share your message. It's being called the Jimmy John's of booze. The local bar adapting to the pandemic with a brand new delivery truck.
The annual Christmas tree lighting in Sapulpa is tonight. The tree will be lit at 5:30. It'll be topped off with a new Route 66 topper. People from the community chipped in to cover the cost.
Rhema Bible Church will flip the switch and turn on 3.2 million lights tomorrow night at 6. It is so beautiful. Stop what you're doing. We all need a little joy. Look at those lights. The attraction has always had a drive-through option. This year, they will also make the concession stand drive-through. The lights will be on each night through January 1st. Whether you say poinsettia or poinsettia, how do you say it, Ron?
Poinsettia.
Poinsettia, me too. Yeah, I think poinsettia is pretty fancy. Bougie, as my kids would say. A New Leaf is kicking off their season in Tulsa and Broken Arrow. They're an organization that helps people with developmental disabilities and autism. They will sell festive flowers to the community. Poinsettias, or poinsettias if you're fancy. The proceeds go toward helping a New Leaf's clients by providing vocational and residential services.
Poinsettia.
Very nice. Poinsettia. I knew you could do it with a fancy.
It's more poetic, I think, to say poinsettia.
Excellent. I want you to say it that way all morning.
That's the way I'm going to say it for the rest of my life. I've decided to do that right now. 4:55 is the time. A mask mandate now in place in Muskogee. Hear from the healthcare workers who celebrated outside City Hall. And all in favor in Sand Springs, the unanimous vote to pass a mask ordinance there when it will go into effect.